articles, I was blown away by all of the things that his descendants were able to accomplish as a speaker. So I just wanted to preface it. Christian Lessig was born in 1745 in the village of Swasbrucken. I did practice that, but it's a tough one. Swasbrucken, which translates from German to two bridges. It's located in the southwestern part of the Western Palatinate, which I also have trouble saying that. His father, Philip Lessig, and mother, Anna Margaret Katerina Georgi, along with several siblings, made the voyage to Philadelphia in 1765 on a ship that was appropriately named Chance. The Lessig family start in Pennsylvania was a rough one, as both of Christian's parents died within a year of their arrival. We're unsure of their birth dates exactly, but they were probably only in their late 40s, early 50s. We don't know for sure why the Lessig family Lessig and Lessig, it's just another spelling of the name, so sometimes you see that. The family came to Pennsylvania, we're not sure why exactly, but in the 1700s, many of the Palatinates had enough between the severe poverty and the religious persecutions that took place for 150 years. Their population had dropped from about 500,000 to fewer than 50,000. But by the time the Revolutionary War started, a third of Pennsylvania was German. After arriving in Philadelphia, Christian and at least one brother moved to what we now call Pottstown, but at the time was known as Pottsgrove. Christian was known as a progressive man at that time. He also managed a farm, ran a grocery store, and even opened a distillery. He was a very devout Lutheran and was a deacon in the church. In 1771, he married a local woman to the area by the name of Elizabeth Reifschneider, which if you couldn't tell by the name, she was also German. They were married in the New Hanover Evangelical Lutheran Church, and they had several children together. During the Revolutionary War, he served as a private in the Philadelphia Militia, the 7th Company, 4th Battalion, which it originated as the 4th Pennsylvania Battalion, but then was redesignated as the 5th Pennsylvania Regiment in 1777. I think our guys might have been together. The regiment was authorized on December 9th, 1775 in the Continental Army as the 4th Pennsylvania Battalion. Several key battles that he likely saw in the American Revolution was Brandywine, Paoli, and Germantown. So the first of his descendants that I'm going to mention is his son Peter, who just so happens to be my 5th great-grandfather. Peter carried on a shoe manufacturing business and served as constable for many years. He also apparently was known for being a quite large, strong man and was a wrestling champion. I don't know why this was mentioned in newspaper articles at the time. Now, I couldn't find out where he was wrestling, who he was wrestling, but apparently he was big and tough, and I don't know, they wrote about it. So I thought that was interesting. So I'm not going to name all of his descendants and their accomplishments that relate to this area in particular, because there are too many. Many of his descendants served on the school board over the years, like every generation, multiple people. It was quite impressive. But they were all very concerned, it seems, with the education of the local schools, and the prosperity of Pottstown was a very big priority of his descendants. Also, one of his descendants, Joshua B. Lessig, was secretary and treasurer of the Ellis Lessig Steel and Iron Company. And there was also multiple generations of Joshua B. Lessigs which made research a little difficult. It was like son, father, nephew, uncle, and back then, most of the Pennsylvania Dutch custom was you didn't have a middle name. Your middle name was your mother's maiden name, and they often just went by the first initial. So there was tons of Joshua B. Lessig. So just putting that out there. Two brothers, great-grandsons of Christians in 1879, purchased ground with the other men and erected the Pottstown Iron Company, as well as being the masons for the brick and sandstone work for the Emmanuel Lutheran Church, right there, and also went into partnership under the firm name George Lessig and Brother. I don't know why maybe because there was too many Joshua Lessigs, so they just stuck with George Lessig and Brother. I don't know. But they were partners in businesses for most of their lives. George went on to become the president of the Pottstown Gas and Water Company, while his brother served as vice president. And in George's spare time, he also served on the school board, as I mentioned, and served as Justice of Peace. While still involved with the steel company, he also helped found the Citizens National Bank of Pottstown in 1893. One of Christian's great-grandsons, by the name of Brooke Lessig, was a graduate of the Hill School and Yale University, and then went on to become a teacher at Pottstown High School. Brooke also served in the World War II as a colonel in the Army and served for 37 months on the staff of General Douglas MacArthur. After being discharged from the military, he returned to his home in Pottstown at 800 High Street, which today serves as the offices of Wolf Baldwin and Associates. He was also a co-founder and vice president of Bellbrook Textiles in Pottstown and the Vanguard Air and Marine Corps. He was the third generation of his family to be involved with the Citizens National Bank and Trust Company of Pottstown, serving as secretary of the board of directors. Besides being a local professional, Lessig also gave a lot of his time to institutions and charities in Pottstown, serving, for example, as the secretary of board of directors of Pottstown Memorial Medical Center and Salvation Army. I also, in research, he was involved in 27 different